So we've been talking about, obviously this week is just gorgeously sunny, right? And you're seeing a lot of solar panels, even just on people's homes, kind of popping up around the area. And we figured, you know what? I think it's time to talk about solar power.
It's a great conversation. Joining us now is Joe Czarniowski from Kilowatt Power Systems. Joe, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So when it comes to solar panels, obviously everybody tends to look at, the real big ones that are all over, especially on the side of some of the expressways. 96 has some that are up against it from DTE, but you obviously specialize in even just down to consumer grade on somebody's home, correct?
Absolutely.
Right, and so there's different sizes, there's different things that go along with it. So many questions. We asked it actually on our Facebook page a little bit ago, so we've got some of those. But before we even dive on into that, just to get an idea, how far has solar energy really come now, looking at how many people are starting to put them on their homes?
It's definitely more popular, right? I mean, so people want some more power freedom, and they have different choices and diversity of what kind of power they can use, especially when we start to lose power because of the grid and whatnot. So if we can get more people using solar, it'll make our entire grid better.
When you're talking about putting those solar panels on somebody's home, what are the cost savings? I mean, what are some of the savings that you will tell people that they can save on their electric bill?
Yeah, so it comes down to it's going to cost money to do it, right? And so you're going to pay that off with your electric bill, the benefit from the electric bill, in somewhere between 8 to 9 years, which are going to get in a well-built system, 20 to 25 years of use. But you'll see that later more than.
So you're saying in about year 9 or 10, you'll start to see that cost benefit?
Well, you'll see that on your bill immediately,
sure,
right, the next month. But if you were to take the total cost of the system against the total cost of what your use, that's when you'll probably pay it off, somewhere between 8 and 9 years.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's almost like sometimes people are financing even like a used car and trying to keep that used car going for a certain amount of time, or even a new car going for a certain amount of time. It's a long-term investment.
Absolutely.
To go even beyond that point. Now, I had a couple of questions actually that came in from some of our viewers, by the way. I asked this a little earlier as well. One of them, one of the top ones, a lot of people really jumped on this one, was what is kind of the life expectancy of these panels? And once they get to that end point, is it possible to replace them? Do you have to pay full price again to do that? Are they recyclable? I know that's a lot of different parts that go into that question.
Right, so a good solar panel you can expect to get 20 to 25 years out of, no question, right? Especially if it's been maintained well. You've kept some of the grit and grime off of it in terms of cleaning. And the whole system follows along. I mean, even with the batteries, a well-designed system should give you 20 years of life. Okay, so as far as, I'm sorry, what exactly?
So the other part of the question was, once they get to the end of that lifespan,
the end of the life,
yeah,
right,
how easy is it to replace them or recycle them? What goes along with that process? This is a question that came in from Pamela Taylor, one of our viewers.
Yeah, so a lot of it's going to end up in some sort of landfill, probably at the end of 25, 30 years. Breaking down the actual components to reuse them and recycle them is difficult at this time. But the newer technologies are certainly looking at using more recyclable materials in the construction of solar panels, especially the flexible ones. They tend to be a little more recyclable just because they're more plastics.
So when you look at this situation and you go out to someone's home and say, hey, let's do this and let's explore the opportunity, the possibility of putting solar panels on a home. One, how many panels typically is needed for a house? And two, how much is that upfront charge?
Yeah, so if you're going to cover a whole home with what you use right now in the average energy, typical 2,000 square foot home, 4-person family unit, you're going to be using about 50,000 watts, right? And you can look at that right on your bill. And so if you want to replace all of that, you're going to be somewhere in the $30,000, $35,000 range as an initial investment, okay? Some can go more, some can come it can obviously go less. An initial investment usually is going to be around 10 grand just to keep the bare necessities running. Your refrigerator, your freezer, potentially a sump pump, some lights, be able to make a pot of coffee. So that will definitely help you on your way, and then you can start to realize the benefits of solar and what it does for you, and then consider maybe going even further.
And another question that actually kind of goes along with that, if there's a day like today where it's just sunny as all get out, and you're creating far more energy than what you need for your home, Obviously, we've got batteries that go along with it, but is that something where somebody can get money back on?
They can, and that's called net metering. I will be honest, though, I don't believe that net metering is actually the best program, right? I mean, the utility companies really don't want our power because they can make power more efficiently than we can. It's really good for us to help the whole grid as a whole, and when we do have trouble with the power, people can still run, right? They don't have to be worried about their refrigerator going out, or if they have a CPAP machine or some of the life-saving devices, all of those will keep running all the way through.
When the power comes out, all of a sudden you're the most popular house on the street with the coffee maker working.
Probably, right? So.
And when you look at the situation, we're not in Florida, we're not in California, Arizona, Texas. We go months maybe without seeing the sun and seeing a day like this during the winter, right? We've had brutal winters here, and we will continue to have brutal winters here. So during those winter months, how does the solar panels work when maybe the sunlight's not hitting it as strongly?
Yeah, they still do work. And the more we can wire them in series, the better that they will work. They'll even work through light snow. So it's really...
Well, that's interesting.
Yes, unless it's really storming or it's dark out, you will get some sort of power. Now,
so it'll keep that power. So let's say on a day like today, there's so much sun, it'll bottle up all of that sunlight, all of that energy, and basically hold it. Let's say for the next week, we see nothing but dark clouds.
No, I'm misrepresenting that then. So the solar panel can only produce the power that it can with the sun, or it doesn't even have to be direct sunlight. It can be complete cloud cover, but it's going to store that in a battery.
Okay.
The solar panel itself does not store energy.
Okay.
Only the batteries do. And then from there, you'll use it out of it.
I was making a leap.
Yeah, so I mean, and then with our example here, right, a lot of people know that we have solar panels, and they know that they need some sort of batteries, but it's all the components in the middle that they don't necessarily understand that they have to have.
And I was going to say, we've got a whole setup here that you brought with us to be able to kind of go with us. So from the top to the bottom, obviously the top we have the solar panel, but can you walk us through kind of everything that we see there from the top going all the way down the system, down to the battery there?
Sure. So we start out with our solar panel, and then we have a solar charge controller, and that's going to regulate the amount of sun, or if it's cloud cover, how much energy it can actually push down and store into the battery at the bottom.
Because it is still charging, like you mentioned, off even a cloudy day.
Even a cloudy day, it's still going to be pushing some energy, certainly not as well as when it's bright sunny, but it's going to be pushing energy into the battery. Then how you use that energy that you've stored is up to you. Now, most people want to use an inverter so that they can plug in regular, plug devices, a coffee pot, refrigerator, something like this. So you're going to need an inverter to pull that energy out of the battery and be able to plug something in. And so that represents the large piece in the middle. Obviously, along with that, there's several other wires and breakers, monitoring devices, or a charger, right? So many of your home systems, the inverter and the charger are combined into one larger unit. And so those can be whatever size you need them to be based on how we would potentially design your system for what you say, I want to power this, then we make a system that does that.
Gotcha. And I have another question that came in here that's kind of twofold. That one of them involves, we get sometimes a very nasty storm or something that comes through. Is there a warranty that goes along with it? Because it is such a big investment. Is that something that goes along with that? And then if somebody was interested in doing this to their home, how long of a process does it take for it to be installed and ready to go? So how long does it take to get installed? And then if something happens to it, is there a warranty to help out?
Yeah, there's a warranty on every one of the products, certainly top end. Like I noticed on your paper, you have SunPower. SunPower definitely warranties their solar panels. Victron warranties their components. Battle-Born batteries, best warranty in the industry, 10 years. So there is a warranty. Hail, tree branch hits the solar panel. That's not covered, but that is usually covered on your homeowner's insurance. So if you are putting it solar on, you'll have to let your insurance company know. Okay, so you will be able to replace it. As far as how long it takes to install the system, it depends really on the size of the system, okay? But properly done, we design it, we get all the components together, we have everything in-house ready to go. We're projecting a date out that the install is. A typical total home system shouldn't take more than 3 days.
And you mentioned something real quick. I wanted to ask one more question that you mentioned that is kind of an important one that was also asked about online. You mentioned insurance. Is this something that is covered by a homeowner's insurance that they would have to add to it?
Yeah, they may have to add an indemnity, but I would recommend you talk to your insurance agent. I'm not an insurance agent, but I know that if you are adding value to your home, they definitely want to know about it and what their coverage options are.
Well, Joe Czarniowski, thank you so much from Kilowatt Power Systems for joining us. Great insight into this possibility to save costs down the road on your electric bills.